Okay. At 12 o'clock, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Need a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. Now, motion carried. Next up, we have the public hearing for fiscal year 2025 proposed property tax levy.
Oh, I need to make a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll
Okay,
second
got a
that.
motion. Do I need a second? Okay, Todd, second. Want to vote on that or all those?
Need to vote on it.
Okay, let's roll call.
Roll call.
Clark,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes. Okay, we've opened our public hearing. So we get an opportunity for people to speak.
Does anyone want to speak? You can come to the microphone, Cindy.
first of all, I guess I'm hoping that.
Can you pull it down?
Sure. First of all, I'm hoping, because we have a couple of people here, that an explanation, maybe a short explanation of the statement that everybody got so that they all understand. I had a couple of people that I knew reach out to me just because they knew I used to do budgets, and I tried to answer them. I also found a link to another county's website that had, if I would have went to the Department of Management, there is an explanation page that helped you like go through each section and how, but that was after I had a couple questions. So I'm, like I said, because there's a couple people here, I hope there's a little bit of an explanation. The other thing I'd like to say is that last fall, I attended the very last meeting of the jail information meeting, and we were down at the Lead Center, and I just had a couple of questions at that time. One of them was, did they see any problem in selling the bonds when it came time for sale? And they told me no, and that was great because I heard what our rating was the other day, and we have a really good rating, so that helps in selling the bonds. The other question I had at that time was, is there any savings anywhere else in the county budget that would help lower the rest of the levy to help offset some of the levy we were going to have because of the jail? And at that time, I was told that no, we were bare bones in our budget. And then listening through the budget meetings, I don't know, a month or so ago, whatever, the comment was made that a 7.5% increase in wages could happen and not raise our levy. So I'm trying to square those two comments together, and I understand I don't understand everything about county budgets yet, and I know there's a general one and a supplemental and all that, but I guess my point would be that I hope that the budget is being looked at as being as low as possible to provide the services to the people that are paying the taxes. And for no other reason, not to just keep it at a certain amount so we can all keep doing what we're doing in the courthouse and everywhere else, but so that we are always remembering where the money comes from. It comes from everyday people who have families. Gas just jumped back up again. They're trying to fill their tanks, go places, go to their job to try to make it, buy groceries, whatever. So that's just my comment today. I don't know the explanation for the proposed tax in comparison to the current said the major reason for increase is the new jail bond levy. That didn't say that was the total increase. It just said it was the major. So it would be interesting to know if we didn't have to make those interest payments next year, because I'm assuming it'll all be interest next year, since we can't, there will be some principal paid? Okay, if we didn't have those payments, what would the levy be? So that'd just be an interesting thing to know, not necessarily, I know you don't have to put that on here, but just interesting thing for people to know.
Okay,
That's all I want.
that was Cindy Van Fossen that was speaking. Anyone else have a comment? Okay,
But do we want to go ahead and explain this a little bit? Melissa, you want to go through this?
I'll start. House File 718 was done by the legislature last year. In that, they put many, many new things for the counties to do because they think they're in Des Moines and they think they know how to run counties better than the people at the county level. So in that was a mandate to send out those statements to every landowner in each county. And when I was in Des Moines at meetings a week before last for the Iowa State Association of Counties, they estimated that the taxpayer dollars would be $1.5 million to send those out to everyone. The Des Moines Register yesterday estimated 1.9 million. That's taxpayer dollars that is wasted in sending these things out, because we always have had budget hearing information in the paper for people to read and on our website. So these were sent out, and I know they were very confusing, but it was a mandate from the legislature. It's also a mandate from the legislature that we have 2 meetings today, one to approve, or the hearing for the tax levy, and then we have another one at 12:15 to approve setting the public hearing. So this, if I can't go, Melissa knows far more about this, but many counties are struggling with this 718 because it put limitations on the amount of valuation increase that we could use. If a county has a valuation increase, that's usually considered when you're doing the new tax levies. This time, it's limited, and it's a formula. Melissa can explain it, but anyway, it's you can't use all of. If Page County grew $10 million, we couldn't use that, and they wanted us to lower the levies as much as they could. And mainly, I think what they were heading for was there are about 30 counties that are over the general basic levy of $3.50. $3.50, as a former county auditor, I'm familiar with this, but $3.50 has been the general basic max levy for years and years and years, and it's never gone up. There is a general supplemental levy that we can do where we mainly have elections, insurances, the main things that carry over and things that have to be done that can't be paid under general basic. I can tell you, as being the county auditor here in the auditor's office for 30 years, that Page County operates on a level that I don't see in some other counties, and I certainly don't see at the state. In the beginning, when I first started, some of the budgets were padded. As the years went on, in 1991, when we had the courthouse fire, we were in a property tax freeze at that time where we couldn't raise levies. And if we hadn't had a good balance, we wouldn't have made it. Because it was a devastating thing to do. And so we survived that. And now they've come back and put this on. But in those years, we have very, very responsible elected officials and department heads. There's no padding in their budgets anymore. They work to keep those budgets down and to do the best for the taxpayers, because they're all taxpayers too. We all have property taxes to pay. So we consider ours. When mine goes up, I go, oh yeah. But then I look and I see what the services are. And I also look and I see what the cities levy, and I see what the schools levy. And the schools are by far the highest, then the cities, and then the county. So you need to look at the services that are provided, and then look at the budgets. And I just have to say that we have very, very conscientious people working in the county, and they have a lot to do. They do a lot of services for the state, because like For instance, the treasurer's office does the driver's licenses and the auto licenses. They collect that money, and that money goes to the state. We keep a very small portion of that. Same way in the recorder's office. They collect the licenses for different marriage licenses, death certificates, the snowmobiles and the boats and those things. And a major portion of that goes back to the state. The state gave last year, you're probably familiar with it, if you're over 65, you can get an extra amount on your homestead deducted. They do that, but it's an unfunded mandate. They tell us to give a higher credit, but we don't get any money back from the state for that. There are so many things that they have done over the years that they will tell us to do, tell the county to do, and they'll fund it for maybe a year or two at the most, and then they back out. And these are all unfunded mandates. So we're doing a lot of work for the state and not being reimbursed for it. So that's, I'll stop, and then if Melissa wants to explain the other.
Todd or Jacob, did you want to add anything before I dove into the meat and potatoes of the notice?
No, yeah, go ahead. I think Judy explained it fairly well.
Go ahead.
All right, so basically, I think some of you probably brought in what you received. And so what you're gonna see on there is your actual, so if you looked at all three of yours all probably look different based on where you live in the county, because it's based on your tax district that you fall into. So if somebody lives in Clarinda School, they're gonna have the Clarinda School notice. If somebody lives in Shenandoah, they're gonna have the Shenandoah notice. And then that's basically making you aware of each different taxing entity and the time and place of their public hearing for these meetings. And so that's basically what this is showing you. From the county, I can't speak on behalf of the schools or the cities. I can only speak on behalf of the county. You'll have to go to those other public hearings to hear about the city or the school if you have questions regarding those. But this is basically for the county side, just showing you that our valuations increased from 23-24 to 24-25. And then with that, kind of like Judy said, the House File 718 did change that process a little bit. So with and this specific public hearing is really looking at your general basic fund and your rural services fund. This isn't looking at the whole budget process that happens at the total budget meeting here in April. So this is just making you aware of these specific levy rates. And basically with our general fund, our growth wasn't over 3%, so we were allowed to take that full growth. And House File 718 did, if you were over 3%, it penalized you. I shouldn't say penalized you, it rolled you back several percentages based on where you fell then with your growth. So due to the fact that we did not see that, we were allowed to take that full growth. And I think that was, it was under that 3% then because of that. And then with the rural, our growth for that was a little bit higher. So we were then, per the House file, then restricted down based on that. And with that then, with your general basic and your rural basic, you have to levy at the max if you're levying anything in supplemental. So we don't in Page County have a rural supplemental, we do have a general supplemental. So with our general basic being at 3.5, we were allowed to stay at that 3.5, so that is where we levied at, and that is in order to keep our general supplemental as well, which we levy a significant amount of funding through. And then in our rural basic, we then were, last year you can see that we levied at $3, and this year, due to that, those changes with the House file, that actually rolled back to the 2.94118. So, and that's what you'll see in the, for the county side of things. And so that's just specifically what this is going through and showing you then based on those amounts where we're at from a levy rate standpoint.
if you want to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just give me your name.
Mike Freed.
Okay.
I was just looking, I mean, I went in and I entered our numbers for the assessed value and taxable income and stuff. And what's current does not match what I paid, like off quite a bit. So, I mean, it's showing, if I, like for the county, it shows that for the current level is 1,013, and what we actually paid was a little over 1,300. And the school which is off quite a bit more. So am I going to get, according to this sheet, our county will be raised almost 33%. Now is that, and that's based off of that input that I did. Now is that going to increase 33% from what I've been paying? Or is it going, are these numbers that are entered on that computer not quite right? Or,
When you say you entered it on a computer, what are you referring to?
Yeah.
On that sheet that was sent out, it said you go to the Iowa government, and I use that, and I entered the information, and it doesn't match what we've been paying.
Does it have everything in there? I don't know where, I don't know where you went. I didn't, yeah.
I'm not familiar with what website you're referencing to.
It's the website on the,
Is it the one at the bottom? The DOM?
yes, I think that's, yeah, the one on the bottom of the second page, the DOM Iowa Govern property taxes.
It should be the same, because they have all the budgets.
Unless I held my tongue wrong when I entered stuff. I tried it again and came up with the same thing this morning.
And actually, the Department of Management is the one that did the calculations on this too, right? Yeah.
So these are based on everything each county and each levy entity spent. So the Department of Management then, it was pulled from the Department of Management and then sent out through mailing services.
So will the increase be based off of what was entered on this website, or what we've been paying on the county?
So it would be based on, so this sheet right here is informing you of what your levies are moving to. So if you base it on current levies, this is what your new levies are changing to. And potentially each constituent's levies would be different potentially based on where you live too. So if you live in Clarinda, yours is going to be different than Shenandoah, because like Shenandoah School levies differently, Clarinda School or Clarinda City, Shenandoah School.
Yeah, I know each school, but even the county one was quite a bit. I mean, there was $300 difference compared to what we've been paying to what the current says on this sheet. So instead of going up, according to the sheet, it's quite a bit lower for what I've been paying on current. It goes up 33%.
I don't, I can't be
so
right.
will it go up just from where we're at to the proposed?
There it is, okay.
So that levy rate that we're looking at is going to be at that budget year, that proposed tax for fiscal year 24-25.
Correct, for the proposed, yeah.
Yep.
But what we paid last year for just the county rural was $1,320.
Okay.
And it's saying that the proposed for ours this year coming up will be $1,347. So is ours, will it only go up $27 or so, or is it going to go up 33%?
I haven't looked at those. I'm not sure what formulas you're.
I don't know, I'm
referencing,
having, I'm having trouble finding.
I don't want to speak on behalf of that. I can just tell you from last year to this year, based on what the property tax and the valuations did. The valuations increased on the rural side So the rule increased 3.88, so then that brought us down to only or the increase then. That's what then changed, so we went from that $3 to $294,118. But the valuations increased, so then you're gonna see an increase based on that too, from the county standpoint. Now, I can't speak on behalf of the other entities, of course.
If you're looking for it on the, I went to where it says learn more, and then down at the bottom of that page, it gave where you could go to spreadsheet.
Oh, I'm having trouble finding it, so I don't know.
Can I come up there?
Sure, you can. I'm trying to go. I'm at the, okay. 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 Oops, whoops, shoot. Always when you're in a hurry here. Okay, now where are you going then? This can be done. Okay. Okay, then download that. Can be downloaded. Are you down? There we go. Okay, down to. Well, where's it going? No, I don't. This is the original where I went in there.
Tablets come under.
Yeah, I know. They sometimes are. Yeah. Download it. I wonder if it's in another spot. Oh, sometimes it puts it in a different file. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah.
That's what it comes up.
Okay. Now, okay. You got the assessor. Okay. The assessed value, January 1, 196,970. 970. Uh, 274,420. It'd be the debt service rate that's putting it up. See if this will come up. Notes. Okay. Didn't put it in.
So this is so it was your general, which is two, I'm not sure if there's such a thing, and it's a little better to what they ever here. It's mostly I don't want to say something. But how this would be basically this year. Especially as one very careful. Yes. Are you finding that
Is it throwing out? What's it doing? I can't get the spreadsheet to come up, so.
Hoping that that's half of the technology, they did the spreadsheet, so that's why I was just getting back and forth, I don't, they're trying.
Are they getting it figured out, Judy?
No, we're working on it. Did you compare it to your, tax statement? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because it doesn't match then. Okay. That's weird.
So it looks like the levy rate, I wonder if that's what was put into the little bit more too.
They didn't include something in it?
Well, it's like
Was it maybe debt that they didn't include? Well,
so from the county side, this whole, where every single levy you have, and then I wish I would just because it would make it so much cheaper. So this isn't really, I can't see if you can see this, so. There we go. So see how, this is 1.4, this is a little bit different. So I'm guessing that's where that small changes, but like this would have been what we levied last year. And this includes every single levy we have. And so then, I guess it's the same with school too. So then when you're looking at this, and then we're coming over and looking at this too, this is just going to show you what this fund right here is doing, this general basic is doing, and what your rural basic is doing. But see, that your general supplemental can still change, and your debt service can still change. And which is in here, but those aren't reflected up here. So really when you're comparing, like, and you're seeing this increased, like when you're looking at what we have, and you're saying, we're saying that this is the increase for general basic and rural basic. That's really a piece of the puzzle in here, but then when you're getting this, you're getting the full current tax rate.
This is actually, if you're saying this is full, this is actually all the money you have to pay.
No. So this is going to be more, because, see,
Yeah, I'm just going by what's on the tax. Just general basic is 13 to 20 last year. And this,
you're talking about the spreadsheet, go back to that.
go back to the spreadsheet.
Okay.
And it's 2013. So it's 47. So is this going to, am I going to go up $27 last year? Based on that, is it going to go up?
well, I don't have roll, that's why I don't have roll.
Same in the school, so that's a huge difference between 46% and 33%.
I am not as familiar with this levy, reach out to the department management and find out what all they're doing with the fact, like, at formulas and such, and then get back to you on that. Can I get your name and number? Because I don't want it to be something wrong, and then, yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah, And we sent everything to them, we had 5 days to approve over the weekend. And so looking at all the data, I'm like, oh,
This makes it even more confusing. It makes it even more confusing. Now, I'm glad you pointed that out, because we need to find out what's going on.
That's an issue with the website.
Right, yeah, it is. What'd you say, Todd?
So it's an issue with the website?
We're not sure what's going on. Melissa's gonna do some research on it.
Okay.
So, she's just making copies right now and she'll be back in, but, we probably just need to move on and, if we can, to go ahead and set the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody else have a question there? See some other people there.
Any other questions? Do you have a question? Could you come to the microphone, please, and give us your name?
I have an issue with raising taxes at all.
Could you give me your name?
Patricia Johnson.
Okay. Go ahead, Patricia.
Like I said, I have an issue with raising taxes at all. The assessor went out and everybody's property values jumped 40, 50%. So you're getting the same cut of a much bigger pie. And then on top of it, wanting to increase the piece of the pie is just too much. You know, like I said, everybody that I've talked to, their property values skyrocketed with nothing being done. And I don't know where the assessor came up with all these numbers, but to have that kind of an increase across the board, you've got that much more money to work with already. And then to want to tack on additional tax rate on the bigger piece of the pie is just uncalled for.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
And I understand, and I can't tell you, it's just because the houses were selling so high was one thing, that they went out and they did it across the state. So, you know, my evaluation went way up too.
Well, that's what I'm saying, across the board.
I know.
People's property rates jumped.
Yes, I understand.
By a significant amount, which means the taxes levied against bigger
I understand what you're saying, yes, I do.
Yeah.
And then with the jail levy, that's what really is taking it up, so.
Find the money someplace else, because we're bled dry.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already at the point where people are starting to not move to Iowa because of the tax rate. It's the same thing Nebraska's gone through.
But the thing with the jail levy was a voted levy by the people, so we can't, you know, we have to go along with that.
Right.
So that raises our debt service for that part of it, but anyway, yes.
Yeah, well.
We're doing our best. All I can say is everybody in here is really doing their best.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
Because you guys are set with the same things personally.
Yeah,
everybody
exactly.
is.
Right, we all own property and we all pay the taxes.
We all paid much more.
Yep.
Why can't that jail fund come out of that much more instead of being piled on top of the?
Well, we don't have the money. We don't have the money in our budget to pay for the jail, so that's why we had to take it to the election to have it voted by the people to decide. So then that goes on top of. So we got really good rates when we sold the bonds last week. So
yeah,
that's 3.69 for 20 years. So that was good that they got the rates that low, but it's still it's still going to be there. So I understand where you're coming from, though. I do.
Yeah. So I just don't understand with that much more money.
Yeah.
Coming in.
But that doesn't go. That goes for the jail. That doesn't go for anything else.
But it should.
But it doesn't. It can't. Because it's a voted levy specifically for the jail.
Okay.
So it can only go for the jail.
So then they can decrease the tax level, the tax rate.
But there isn't anything in there to decrease because the jail is a totally separate thing.
Our percentage of taxes that we're paying
Okay, okay. Yeah, Melissa just gave me this new, what our taxes are proposed for the 24-25 year. And the dollars are going down in the general basic, $11,582 in general supplemental. They're going down 8,604, and rural basics going up a little bit, for just 14,000. So we are decreasing, we're not raising dollars in the general basic and the general sub.
Are they
Even
decreasing
though
it?
the evaluation goes
Decreasing a
up,
little bit. In those two funds, the decrease, well, it comes down, let's see, the levy last year. The levy's the same as it was last year in the general basic and the general sub, but it's less funds, it's less dollars than we got last year. So.
Jacob's got something he's gonna say. Go ahead, Jacob.
and I was just gonna agree with that. It should affect, even though evaluation goes up, the ask should come down.
It is coming down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
That's
It's staying the
confusing
same, but it's
sometimes.
coming down. Yes,
Okay, so it is decreasing.
yes. And the rural basic was at $3 last year, and it's going to $2.94 for next year. So the levies are going down,
Okay, yeah,
okay?
yeah, I see them. Okay, so it's a decrease. To make up for
Yeah,
the
we're
increase.
trying,
Okay.
we're trying.
Rob Peter, take home.
I think everybody faces that in their personal life as well as this, so yeah, it's tough. Any other comments? Okay. I guess I would move to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
I've got a motion to close, second. Vote on that, or all those in favor?
Go ahead,
Guess we voted in, let's vote out.
do a roll call.
Clark,
Yes.
Maher,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes. Okay, we've closed the public hearing. Now we're into our next agenda. You just want to roll right into that, or you want to adjourn this one and open that one?
We've got to pass this first.
I move that we, can I move that we adjourn this one?
We're done?
Or do we have to pass our budget?
No, okay, we just have to close it now. We have to adjourn.
Okay, I move that
All
we
right, so
adjourn.
I'll second
I got a
it.
motion to adjourn. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we've adjourned that meeting. We have another agenda that was 12:15. We'll go into that agenda now.